Hey you, yes, you need to do some location scouting. And I'm not talking about going onto Google Maps and looking at the location you guys are going to. I mean, you genuinely need to get out and go and look at locations. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't go and do that, you're not gonna know what you're gonna be doing at that specific location, and you're probably gonna be wasting some time while you're on a shoot at that location trying to figure out, well, where can we shoot? Where am I gonna be at? Anyways, hello, my name's Shoffstall. I do automotive videography and photography, and today I am going to be talking to you guys about location scouting. Recently, I went on a little trip down to Deep Creek, Maryland to do some location scouting for a show I shoot. I shoot the Dubs at the Lake show that happens every year down in Deep Creek, Maryland. And this year, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go down beforehand and have some solid locations picked out for during our main cruise and just some other general locations, go on the route, know my surroundings. So when we're down there, I'm not worried about thinking of locations because I'll already know what locations I need to go to. Now, this doesn't apply to every single shoot. There are some shoots I even get away with not doing any location scouting, but it's good practice to get into because you never know. You never know what locations you can find, and you never know, maybe the location you're thinking of, there may be construction. There's been multiple times now where I can remember locations I've shot at before, I've gone back to, and I couldn't use because there's construction or something else going on. Anyways, don't mind the different dress of clothes because you'll see in a second that I shot this intro on a different day than the actual full video, but there's the introduction out of the way. Let's get to the actual video. So I stopped for gas and I decided, you know what, let me explain what I'm actually doing out, why I'm actually location scouting in the first place. It is because I need to figure out specific locations on our cruise route for the Dubs at the Lake show. So a lot of the years past, I really didn't know the route that well, and I was sort of there observing, and we didn't have a game plan. This year, we want to have a very solid game plan underway. So what I'm doing is I'm heading down and I'm looking at a few spots that I looked on the map that may work, and I also want to get just some solid spots selected for showcases and stuff like that, because down here, it's so constricting with trying to do it and trying to find a specific location during the show that it's like I'm just gonna go and do it on my own. So we're about 30 minutes out, so we're almost there.
All right, so we're here in Deep Creek finally, and I have a few locations in mind. I left my phone in my car, but the first few are locations on the actual route of the cruise. And I'm probably gonna go and drive the actual route. There's a few stops I wanna go and stop at and figure out if those areas will work. The wind noise is probably terrible right now, but this will have to do. I have no other way of blocking it. But yeah, we're gonna go drive on the route, set up a few locations, and then probably after that, talk to you more in depth about getting a location and securing one. So we'll hop back in the car. It's a nice day out. Doesn't seem like there's too much traffic here. which is very nice. So let's go. So I think I found one location where I'll be at, which is right probably here with this in the backdrop. I think that'll look really nice. I'm gonna grab some photos with the GX here just to see if this location will work. Everything's messed up on my settings on there, so I'm gonna put this down here and get a photo. All right, lighting is not working in my favor whatsoever, so we're gonna continue down on the route. There's a few more spots I want to hit up. Let me explain first why I brought this, the GX, and it's to take photos. Always bring your camera with you when you're location scouting, all the time, because you never know what you can get. And having a camera there to look at the focal length and to walk around and to see what it's going to look like on camera will really help sell what the location will be. So I'm thinking right here for our cruise location, first one where people are flying this way. And actually what I'll probably do is during the cruise, once everybody's done here, I'll drive back this way and catch the back end, because there's a spot over here I want to go and check out. But I do want to drive the cruise route just so I know it and know how long it usually does take. So let's go drive it. So I found a location here which is right by the lake. And the issue I'm having is it's not exactly a nice spot, but this entire section here running on through would be perfect for rollers. And that's another thing you got to look out for. You got to look for spots for rollers too, because I'm shooting rollers at this event. So this potentially, maybe. One thing I want to tell people to avoid is things that say they're a scenic view, but really all they are for tourists to stop and just admire a view. So this right here is a scenic view. It says it's scenic, but you have a guardrail, you have this random sign, you don't see any of the lake. Like none of the lake is in there. You can see a bit of it over here, but like other than that, you're not really seeing anything with the lake, and it is not a scenic view. The sign's cool, the McHenry sign's cool, but like you can do like maybe a photo with it, maybe like sitting back here, something like this, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's not a good location. Just a little tip. I got off course a little bit with the actual course. So since I kind of messed up the cruise spot we were in, I'm gonna have to sort of backtrack a little bit. I know where I went wrong. I took a different turn. So we'll go back to where I made that wrong turn and then just continue going on along the way. So let's go. So I think I found the second location on the cruise, which is right off of this road. This is towards the end, and people will be coming down this way, that way. And I think it's gonna be pretty cool to be standing like right about where I'm at, getting everybody passing, trying to get like a nice front shot of them right by like here where my car's at.
I think this will be a cool spot, a cool location.
For that, I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't quite know if it will work or not. The first spot though that I have in mind definitely will work. Will be very good right off the bat. This spot though, however, I'm not too certain. Cars coming. I'm not too certain on whether this will work or not, but we'll see. I'll get a few photos and then yeah. So, I'm at McDonald's to grab something to eat because I'm hungry. There we go. Okay. So, a few things to take away from the day and me going in depth on what to actually do when you're going location scouting. First things first, make sure you have your maps ready. Whether it's Google Maps, whether it's Waze, whether it's an actual maps, especially if you're looking at a route, trying to do rollers on that route. So what I did was I went and I had the route up on Google Maps. That's what it was on. It's easy to lay down multiple points to get the route completely filled in. That's the first thing you want to make sure you have. Second thing, bring a camera. Whether you're bringing your actual shooting camera or if you bring a little tiny smaller camera just for a few photos, bring a camera, because what you want to do is you want to take some photos of the location. Whether if you have a vehicle there, I know not everybody has the nicest vehicle when they're doing automotive photography and videography, but just use your vehicle as a reference point to show the location off. Second, look for locations that promote the area you're in. And I'm not saying make sure hey, if you're looking for locations I am in Deep Creek, you have to make sure you have Deep Creek signs. No, you want to have what makes that location, that area special. So Deep Creek, it's a lake. You want to make sure you have bodies of water behind it. Whether it's the actual lake or not doesn't entirely matter, but you want to have that lake feel. So that first location we stopped off at, the reason why that I feel like is a good location is because you have the huge lake in the background. You have Will-O-the-Wisp ski resort going up on the edge there behind everything, and people are going to be passing that way, and it's going to look really good. That second spot I stopped in at, that one's also going to work for doing rollers throughout that entire road. A lot of the roads I was driving on had the lake on the one side, and you could see it clearly, and it looked beautiful. Those will work for rollers if you're doing roller stuff. And the final thing, make sure you're not doing anything on private property explicitly. So this is a hard thing because sometimes people will say, well, this is private property, quote unquote, when in reality all it is just some dude not wanting you near them. Sometimes it is genuine private property. If you see any private property or posted signs, stay away from that location. Or if you can figure out who owns that property, talk to them and say, hey, I would like to use your property for a shoot. Do you mind if I shoot right here? I've had instances where I've been able to shoot in certain locations because we talked to the property owner beforehand. The video I did with my buddy's bagged ST in that old warehouse location. The reason why we were allowed to shoot there is because we talked to the property owner beforehand and said, hey, we're not doing anything bad. We just want to take photos and take videos. It's all right, anytime you guys want to come back out here, let me know. And I'll let everybody who's down there also know. That's awesome. That's an amazing thing. And it makes life a whole lot easier being able to find locations like that. So, I'm going to close off this video by eating some McDonald's fries, because they're delicious. And I hope this helped you in some way. This was kind of
impromptu. I decided, you know what, I have nothing going on Monday, and I need to head down here to look at a few locations. So I might as well do it, might as well take the day off and go and do it. And I did. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to bring you guys along because, hey, maybe you guys want to know how I do this, how I find certain locations. And I will admit a lot of them are spur of the moment. I find it and I'm like, this is an awesome location, I'm using it. But yet again, the locations down here, we have to plan ahead because we have a whole bunch of people who are expecting us to already have a game plan ready. So if you have a big shoot coming up and you need to have a game plan ready, you need to know that location you're using. Do something like this. Take an afternoon or do what I did and take a full day almost. And just go down, drive around, and look for spots that'll work. I feel like a lot of people just don't think of spots, and they ask other people, hey, what spots have you been to? And you'd be surprised with a lot of the spots you're able to find if you just drive around. Another example I've done of this is when I shot lowriders. I know a lot of you on this channel don't know what that video is, but I'll put it down in the description. Go and watch that. That was my big senior project for college. Me and the owner, Tyler, of that, his Audi, yeah, it's his Audi. We went out and we scouted locations beforehand. We went out and we looked. That same day we shot the big cinematic stuff. Beforehand, we went out and we scouted locations to make sure we had something solid down. And we did. And it's funny because that location I've shot at afterwards too. And I have locations saved on my phone from that day that weren't going to work for his car in that video. But I have now in the back of my mind on my Google Maps where I can pull those up later and be like, hey, we can go to this location. We can use this location. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a 2-hour drive back home. I'm not excited for it, but I gotta get back anyways. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care.